following message is transmitted at the request of the Atlanta-Fulton County Emergency Management Agency. A riot is currently occurring within downtown Atlanta. Several law enforcement personnel have reported several groups of civilians currently causing damage to property and harm to other civilians. The motive of the rioters is currently unknown. Several patrols of law enforcement personnel are currently attempting to defuse the situation. Do not participate in the riots, as you will be arrested without question. The rioters are considered very dangerous and should not be engaged by any means. At this time, avoid downtown Atlanta in order to ensure your safety until this crisis has ended. Remain tuned in for more information.
Good evening. I'm Lucas Tell reporting on this top breaking news story currently developing in downtown Atlanta. As investigations by local law enforcement continue, we are currently receiving no new information as to the motive of the rioters. We can confirm, however, that there are mass amounts of rioters causing devastation and there are as many as 100 injuries and no casualties at this time. What is most concerning about the rioters is they are still retaining their violent tendencies even after being detained. Why this is happening is still unknown, and some of the rioters will be undergoing psychological and mental evaluations in order to determine the cause. To those currently listening, do not head in the direction of downtown Atlanta. All roads leading in and out of downtown Atlanta are closed at this time for the safety of all civilians. What's this? Alright. We have currently received new information regarding the situation in downtown Atlanta. As it stands, a patrol of police units attempted to apprehend an unknown suspect and were suddenly attacked in great numbers by rioters, allowing the suspect to escape. According to the police, this suspect was simply viewing the rioting occurring and did not respond to verbal commands by the Atlanta Police Department. The current location of the suspect is unknown at this time, and the rioters continue to cause damage to property and great physical harm to those nearby without provocation. We say again that if you are in the vicinity of downtown Atlanta, do not approach the city for any reason and do not attempt to mitigate the situation yourself, as you may be putting yourself at great risk of bodily harm. We will continue to provide more information on the situation as it develops. In other news, various charities have managed to come up with a combined total of We are currently receiving some new and mysterious reports regarding the rioters in downtown Atlanta. According to bystanders and local law enforcement, the rioters are now possessing strange characteristics which is distinguishing them from those not affected by what is presumed to be a case of mass hysteria. The rioters are now said to have the following: pink or magenta colored irises and pupils, visible veins, bright red colored skin, and aggression to those not under this phenomenon. If you spot one of the rioters, do not attempt to elicit a reaction, as you may be putting yourself at great risk of serious harm or death. It is unknown what is causing this strange occurrence to occur, but an investigation is currently underway in order to determine the cause. We can now confirm that fatalities are beginning to occur due to attacks from rioters. In order to ensure the safety of all civilians, the entirety of Atlanta will be barricaded in order to prevent further incidents from occurring, and to prevent this phenomenon from potentially spreading. We have now received a report claiming that an unknown individual has been suddenly appearing and reappearing at random intervals throughout the entirety of Atlanta. Attempts to apprehend the individual are failing as the suspect is evading capture and the law enforcement sent to capture the suspect has been overpowered by the same rioters. However, this claim is unable to be confirmed as this report currently has no evidence to support this. More investigation is underway in order to obtain more information on this unusual crisis, so please remain tuned in.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Georgia Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency. All residents currently residing within the city of Atlanta are ordered to remain indoors at this time. A dangerous vapor is currently forming within the center of Atlanta and is beginning to spread outwards in all directions. The cause of the vapor is currently unknown at this time. Those exposed to the vapor are reporting the following symptoms upon inhalation: catatonia, and total body paralysis. The onset of the symptoms occur upon 10 minutes after inhalation, and there is no treatment available at this time. At this time, remain indoors, close and lock all doors and windows, and turn off all ventilation systems to prevent the vapor from entering your current location. It is unknown how this vapor suddenly appeared, and all efforts to inspect the vapor are currently underway. Please only dial 911 if in an emergency, as you may be putting the lives of others at risk for usage of telephone lines. Follow current directions, and remain tuned in to all media outlets on this unusual situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Georgia Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency. The vapor reported to have suddenly appeared within the vicinity of downtown Atlanta has now spread to the entirety of Atlanta. The vapor has caused numerous injuries due to civilians falling into a catatonic state as a result of vapor exposure. The cause for the vapor has now been revealed to be various plant life producing the vapor for an unknown cause. Reports have started to come in about those affected by the vapor now in a trance of sorts, as those affected have begun to break into fits of uncontrollable and maniacal laughter. In addition, there have been reports of a mysterious green, wisp-like figure within the vapor. However, this cannot be confirmed at this time. At this time, Please remain indoors, close and lock all doors and windows, seal all cracks with tape or damp towels, and turn off all heating and ventilation systems in order to prevent exposure to the vapor. If you are within the vicinity of the vapor, attempt to distance yourself to the best of your ability. Exposure to the vapor is not fatal, but attempt to prevent exposure. Remain tuned in to all media outlets for more information.
Are we live? We are? Okay. If you are just tuning in, there's an ongoing situation with the mysterious vapor that has now enveloped the entirety of Atlanta. As a result, myself and my colleagues have been trapped within the studio, but we are all alive and well. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are currently studying the plants within the city to determine how these plants are producing the vapor. We have no further information on the vapor other than there have been civilians breaking into fits of maniacal laughter, and there are still unconfirmed reports of the wisp-like figures seemingly roaming in the mist. We are at a loss for words, and there hasn't been any further confirmed injuries or fatalities. This vapor has not spread further, which is odd considering how it has not dissipated. I'm just now receiving reports that there is some unknown individual walking within the vapor, apparently affected by it. This is said to be the same individual appearing and reappearing throughout Atlanta. This individual is an adult female, approximately 18 to 20 years of age, 5 feet 4 inches tall, with a curvature figure, with pink hair, eyes, and nails. The name of this individual is still unknown at this time. She is said to be approaching the wisp-like figure, and it seems that the wisp-like figure has stopped and is not attempting to evade her. There seems to be some sort of tension between the two figures. The figures are working further into the vapor and are no longer in sight. We are unable to receive more information at this time. We will return shortly. Please stand by.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the Georgia Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency. At this time, the unusual activity occurring within Atlanta has now ceased and the threat has now passed. There has been no explanation for the sudden appearance of the vapor or the unknown start of the riots. All civilians are now allowed to leave their homes at this time.